businesses affected by recent looting in Gauteng and KwaZulu Natal are slowly trying to rebuild and start welcoming customers. Gauteng Premier Mike Nkuna yesterday said that the cost of damage suffered during the unrest is estimated in the province to be about more than 3 billion rand. 14,500 jobs have been affected in the province after malls and shopping centres were ransacked and in some cases set alight. One of the people whose businesses were affected is Mike Nkuna, who owns 3 malls in Gauteng. He joins us now live to talk more about the impact of the unrest and how he is picking up the pieces. Mr. Nkuna, grateful for your time. Thank you so much for being with us. So your malls, 3 of them, were affected by the recent unrest and the damage to property. Have you been able to reopen?
Well, thank you very much, Thembekile, and your viewers out there. And I'm glad, we're no longer talking about what happened, because what happened, it has happened, it's in the past. We're looking at moving forward. And as I'm talking to you, one of them, the ShopRite section, it's open because what we aimed at, doing quickly, it was to restore that, some of the food outlets get open as soon as possible, because the scrupulous out there, they saw an opportunity of destruction, and some of them, they were selling, just a loaf of bread for 60 rand. So we then said, how do we assist? Let's target, those shops that can, bring relief to the community, and we're doing that. And in the other ones, some of them, on Monday, the OK and the ShopRite section will be open. So we're looking forward, we're moving forward, we're restoring the dignity to our people. As you are aware that, I'm the pioneer of township economy, and township economy, it's my vision, and that vision will live on.
And you've said now that you've opened, what you're prioritizing at the moment is reopening, in particular, the food outlets, the grocery outlets. I was reading somewhere in the week that you'd spoken about a period of about 2 months for full restoration. Is that when you think all 3 malls will be fully operational again?
Yes. Remember, we had to do the assessment in entire, damage and say, which area can we start? Which area can we accelerate in order to bring, give back the dignity to the people? So we then targeted the food section, and then the next one is the clothing and some other ones. There are some areas like, in Proteas land, whereby, the section of, the butchery side on the root side has been gathered with fire. That one might take, 2 to 3 months. So, but I can safely say everything after 3 months will be 100% operational.
Can I get your sense of the response from government? President Cyril Ramaphosa, speaking now almost a week ago, said plans were afoot to assist businesses affected by the rampage at the beginning of July. Have you yourself seen any help coming in, or are you relying mainly on insurance that you would have had, I presume, before this disaster?
Well, if you have listened to the president he indicated that, we are the most fortunate country in the whole world because the Sasria, insurance, it's owned by government. And, there's the other insurance that is owned by the insurance company. And because, Sasria is owned by government, the president said, he's going to try and push, Sasria to accelerate, the process with the assistance of, the insurance company, because those insurance companies, they are the ones that have to go out there and do the assessment and quantify so that, they can be able to pay out. So we are very fortunate in that regard because the government is coming on board. And as I'm speaking, there are some other mechanisms such as, Empowerment Fund, IDC. Those ones, they are coming on board to get, the small business and the formalized business that were operating in those areas to say, how do we assist you with bridging finance so that, when the insurance pay and then the insurance can pay back them. So we are moving on. And I'm 100% confident that, the economy is going to grow and will continue building our own cities in those townships.
I know you very much want to focus on the positives and rebuilding, but You were also there on the day that one of the malls that you own was being looted. I believe it was the Jabulani Mall. Are you able to just tell us just a little bit about what you witnessed on that day?
You see the problem, with our media in this country. The problem with our media, they try and, focus on the negative instead of focusing on the positive. Though, I've said that, when I was there, we tried to get, the police to open up so that, they can try, because they had closed, their gates, instead of coming out and assist, the mall, because Jabulani Mall is in front of Jabulani Police Station. So what, the media will say, they will say, Mike Nkuna has said, open up the gate in order for the people to loot. So those are negative, things. So I would appeal out there to the media to deal with, positive things. Because, you see, we are rebuilding. And as, we focus on the negative, we'll be left with nothing. Some of us, we want to see this country grow economically so that, we're able to create jobs for people, so that, our children, our mothers can have a better life that, we yearn to have, all of us.
And it could be argued, of course, that to fully understand the state of where we are, you have to look at both the cause and effect. But I don't want us to get into too much of a back and forth about where to focus. Solutions, which is what you say you're about. How do we avoid a repeat of some of the issues that led to what we saw? Because yes, there was criminality, there were elements of that, but there are also elements of poverty and people who, because they had nothing, saw an opportunity to finally get something as basic as a meal. How do we help them to make sure we don't come back here again?
Well, it's a very good question. That one is a very good question and a positive question. If you look at, what happened in 1976, we had, our leaders who were on the, ground with the people. And when, they planned the uprising that happened in 1976, it was, channeled properly. The burning, remember, it started 1976. But, there were some targets that, the government was, the people were targeting because our people were not in government. So they targeted those, key points. But see, in today's environment, we have this kind of unrest and, our leaders are not there. We'll appeal to the government and the political people to be out there with the people and educate them that, this is the time to build our own, cities, like what happened in the past when the apartheid government built, their own cities. Instead of, changing names without creating our own names. So this is the time whereby, we must say we have learned from what has happened. Never again this kind of things is going to happen. We're going to build our own city, but it will have history to tell to say this type of things has happened. And it will never happen. And I'm happy because organizations such as, Proud South Africa, they are going out there with some proposal to educate people so that they realize that these kind of facilities are there for them to help themselves. Can you imagine, someone living from Jabulani and travel to Johannesburg to buy, grocery of 1,000? And before you can buy that grocery of 1,000, you spend 500 on the transport. So it's, moving and backwards. So it doesn't help. But you see, by providing this kind of facilities on their doorsteps, we're helping them.
Mr. Mike Nkuna, mall owner and all-round business person, speaking to us about how he is beginning to pick up the pieces from the destruction we saw at the beginning of this month in the unrest. For now, sir, thank you very much for your time.